welcome to Radio Sensation. I'm your host, Dan. And on this episode, I am going to be taking a look at a book, The Thrilling Comic Book Cover Art of Alex Schomburg. Here you go. And the reason I'm going to take a look at that is not only because it's a good book, but also because Evan Husney of one of my favorite YouTube channels, the Power Comics YouTube channel, and he's also partnered, he and his cohorts have partnered with Floating World Comics to reissue Power Comics. If you don't know what Power Comics are, you can go over to his YouTube channel and definitely take a look. I've talked about some of the Power Comics that he's helped get reissued here on my channel, and I've also talked about some books that I think are similar to what they're doing, but which they haven't, certified as Power Comics. But I'm going to be looking at this, and this is not about Power Comics. Schomburg was an artist. He started doing illustration work in, I think, the 30s, and he worked on the pulps, and then in like 1940 to like the early 50s, I believe, he was working on comic books, including some early airbrush coloring for the covers he was doing. And so these Golden Age covers have attracted Evan's curiosity lately. He's become a huge fan of those. He's been ignoring his Power Comics duty and covering Golden Age covers now. Luckily for him, that's okay, because I also love the Golden Age comic covers. So I'm going to take a look at this, and we'll walk through this book a little bit, and I'll flip through it. And I think if you're interested in comic book covers of the Golden Age, you might really find something interesting here. Okay, let's flip it over. Okay, so here's the book, The Thrilling Comic Book Cover Art of Alex Schomburg. Schomburg did a lot of illustration work. He did pulps and science magazine covers for science magazines and stuff. Before he started working on the comics, he worked in the comics from like 1940 to the early 50s, and it looks like he produced almost 500 covers. And so that obviously is not going to fit in this book. Like I said, he produced some fantastic work. I guess, the guys who like Good Girl art and covers and stuff, they really love him. And this is one of those, I believe this is one of the airbrush covers he did, which he did a couple of airbrush covers. I'm not sure that he did a lot. And he got kind of famous for them because they looked different than the average comic book cover of the time. I think it softens his work up a little bit. It's interesting, and if it wasn't him, I'd say wow. But I really love his earlier work. The same stuff. Like this is one of the most collectible comic book covers. Of these early pre-code dates. And, look at that. That's wild. That's one of the ones that they went over on the Power Comics channel. And you can see World War II stuff. And, like I said, he did about 500 covers. There's only one per page most of the time in this. So there's a lot not covered here. And I wish, like I said, because I like this earlier action adventure stuff that's kind of gritty and has this dangerous vibe to it, and you know these the monsters are grotesque and stuff. You know, like I said, there's a big collector's market for the good girl covers, and there's no doubt he knew how to draw a pretty girl, a damsel in distress. But you know, as you can see here, most of the covers they're doing now. This is kind of a nice combination of both. But you know, they're doing one cover on this side, not as big, and then they're doing a full page over here. As much as I like these ones with the beautiful women, see, I would rather see the detail in this one done full size as opposed to this one, which is a simpler design. Again, you know, it's, I think this is one of the airbrush color covers. Look, see this, the crazy, you know, the Namor, the Captain America, the original Torch and stuff. That's the one I'd like to see more detail of. But as even that aside, this is some fantastic stuff. You know, I love the grittiness and the line work in this more than the sci-fi stuff over on that they've decided to do big. Really great stuff. Very, yeah, exciting comics indeed. Of course, many of the times when you track down reprints of the actual comics that are in these comics, they're not nearly as dynamic. You know, they were still kind of learning the ropes at the time. So the comics aren't outstanding. There are a few that stick out, but you know, this is definitely a case where the sizzle is a little bit better than the steak itself. It's a nice one. God. Hitler and a nice racial caricature. All in one good cover. I mean, I love these faces. I love the faces of these villains. I mean, that guy getting his heart pierced, and this guy being strangled there. There's some cult that I'm sure was, you know, they might have bats on their robes, but I'm sure they're standing for the Klan. Some good stuff. All right. Oh yeah, I like this. This is like this definitely looks like could be early inspiration for Catwoman, right? And here, a Japanese building, a building in Japan has been set ablaze, and they're trying to put out the fire, and our superhero is cutting off the water supply. A lot of World War II era stuff. Oh, I like this one too. Look at that. Look at that monster there. And these guys, and she's in this bizarre torture machine. I don't know. more hooded robes. There's one of these crazy torture machines that has so many moving parts. Oh, yeah, I like that monster there too. So anyway, you can see here, this is Schomburg's, some of his artwork, Schomburg rather. And you can see he's got a great style. Like I said, the book isn't exactly what I would like. There's 500 covers to choose from that he did for the comic. So and also you know, he did pulp covers, some of which are pretty exciting too. And then he did sci-fi magazines in the 60s, and he did various illustration work for places. He's got a lot of work to choose from. So this is just a tiny sampling. I think it's a great book. And the only thing is, I wish that my own favorite themes were covered a little more in it. But otherwise, this is a great book. And so you people who are interested in comic book covers, and aren't we all, this is a great book. The paperback version is really easy to find. So if you want to check it out, I recommend it.